Hello, and welcome to this edition of EMSNOW Up Close. I am Eric Miscoll with EMSNOW, and it's my pleasure today to speak with someone from Mycronic for the first time. And today we're meeting with Clemens Jargon, Senior Vice President of Mycronic Assembly Solutions High Flex Division. Clemens, thank you very much for joining us today, taking the time to share some insights with us. Why don't I allow you to just introduce yourself and the High Flex division for the benefit of our audience?
Yeah, good morning, Eric, and thanks for the invitation. So, I'm Clemens Jargon, overseeing the High Flex division at Mycronic as Senior Vice President. We have 4 divisions at Mycronic: High Flex, High Volume, Global Technologies, GT, and Pattern Generators. And my division oversees the SMT portfolio. That means jet printing solution, SPIs, solar paste inspection, pick and place equipment, AOIs, automated optical inspection systems, and material handling. And all of this together as a full line solution offering we call the MyPro line. Next to this, we also sell the Mysmart solution to our customers, which is the offering for dispensing and conformal coating solutions.
Okay.
I'm happy to be here and listen to your questions and have to understand a bit more about our business.
Excellent, excellent. And how long have you been with Mycronic then? What is your personal history?
Oh, I'm already since 7 years with Mycronic.
Okay.
And in various responsibilities. Okay. And I'm running the business division since about 2.5 years, right?
Okay, excellent, excellent. Let me begin. I want to touch on a few issues more about the industry and how you're engaging with them. And I wanted to start with Mexico, if that's okay. I think Mycronic is expanding their business within Mexico. So I'd like to just ask you your comments about tell us about that. What are those opportunities? Are there particular sectors that you're serving? Are there particular products that are proving to be quite popular?
Yeah, this is a great question. You're really hitting a very hot point. So let me go one step back. So basically, we are called High Flex because we offer high flex solutions. That means our core market is high flex equipment for the pick and place arena, pick and place machines, jet printing, material handling, inspection solutions, but we also offer solutions for the high volume market. And as we all know, I think there's a big reshoring ongoing right now into the Americas, into Mexico, next to Europe, no doubt. I think Eastern Europe is also, I think, a huge market where we see lots of reshoring activities. This is due to the geopolitical changes in the world that we all observe. And we recognize that our customers, in especially the Mexico, for example, are very interested in our high volume offering, which is mainly the dispensing solutions, jet printing, conformal coating, but also inspection. And this is what we offer here. There's a lot of tier 1 customers who are expanding their business in Mexico, and we are very close to them, offering our solutions and give them great offers to support their customers.
Okay, very good. And I asked you off screen, but I'll ask you again. You do not use rep firms down there. You have direct sales within Mexico.
Yes, we have a direct sales organization in Mexico. We started there with a sales representative in the beginning, and then we expanded the team. And we are right now already on the way to establish our Mycronic Mexico subsidiary, because we see that the business is continuously growing and there's more demand, and as more machines we install, we have recognized, I think, we need to be even better present there, offering local solutions, covering everything what's needed from spare parts, accessories, local system supply, local services. So we have extended the team already. And we also know the process of establishing Mycronic Mexico subsidiary. This is a clear commitment of our customers that we see this market very important.
I want to come back and revisit, you touched on the issue of reshoring. We'll get to that in just a moment. coming to the business in Mexico, what are the industry sectors that are driving that? I often think of Mexico as kind of, we used to call it the 3 A's: automotive, aeronautics, and appliances, right? Kind of bigger things like that. I know that's changing now, but what are the businesses that are really, or the business sectors that are driving the growth for you?
Yeah, so we see, in fact, so you hit the point with automotive. Automotive is big already in Mexico, getting bigger and bigger. We also see medical. That's a very much growing area in Mexico. Industry, aeronautics, this is all, you name them all. I think most important, I think it doesn't matter so much which industries, it more matters about, I think, that every customer who expands his activities in Mexico, they continue to have high quality requirements. They want to get out of Mexico the same quality as they get from any other regions, and that means there's also, this is a duty for us as a supplier. And when you provide solutions for automotive and medical in Mexico, you have to keep the same 100% quality standards as everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And this is why we really appreciate that these customers continue to work with us. With most of these customers, we have already relationship from other regions, and we continue to extend this also in Mexico.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. So existing customers, and there definitely has been a big growth down there. I wanted to ask about and I think you referenced the Mysmart platform within Mycronic. Tell us about that, kind of what that encompasses and how that applies down there.
Yeah. So the Mysmart product line encompasses the dispensing and conformal coating. So we have platforms with almost all ejector and valve technologies which you need for any kind of different dispensing solutions and coating solutions. And this is what we offer there. These products are based on the products owned by our business division High Volume, which is located in China. And so we have here a huge business representation in dispensing conformal coating in China with Axon. And we have westernized these products and made them perfectly fitting also to the requirements of the European and the American markets. And we are selling them under the Mysmart range.
Okay. And that makes sense. And those types of solutions certainly apply to the sectors we were talking about as well, within the automotive and the aeronautics, and they're certainly relevant. Let me go then broader again. Well, one last question on Mexico. Mexico is known kind of, I'm assuming that your sales covers wherever the industry is there. I know I'm going to Guadalajara next week. Guadalajara is a great center. You have Monterrey, and you also kind of have the border areas. I'm assuming that your coverage is inclusive of everything within there, or do you see more activity in certain areas?
That's right. I think you named the center is what. I think this is definitely where the heat is on. There's a lot of activities happening there. American customers who expand their activities in Guadalajara. We also see other customers. We see Korean customers being very strong in Mexico, supplying American markets from there. From Monterrey to Tijuana, I think all of these areas are relevant. But the biggest center in Mexico, where we also establish our Mexican subsidiary, is definitely also Guadalajara.
Okay, good. Let me move to the reshoring issue. Obviously, what's happening in Mexico is driven by a lot of reshoring activities, and that's been a big topic for the last few years, especially since COVID. Tell me, what are you seeing in this regard, both into the Americas and also into Europe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we definitely see reshoring happening. I think this is for real. This is not just something what we consider or what we imagine. I think we see a huge growth, especially in Eastern Europe. We see the same growth in America, I think in the US, and we see the growth in South and Middle America. So it is companies move activities from Asia into these named regions, which I mentioned before. They are expanding their business. They set up new production sites. They are enhancing their production site. They are and also based on requirements from their customers, they're moving in that region. So they have not only an own interest to be there, also their customers request them to be local, to optimize logistics, to optimize supply chain, to be closer to relevant markets. And this is also for us a very important area to be considered, because we also need to be close to customers. And when they reshore, we also need to reshore. So there's already out of the, so we are in Pick and Place, for example, we are active in the market since about 30 years, even more than 30 years. And America was always, I think, for us, an important market, like Europe. And now with the reshoring activities, which we see, the business growth, which hits us in a very positive way, is continuously increasing. So this reshoring really plays into our books, because we are already here, we are close to customers, and we can serve them on very close to and very short distance. Because that also means, I think, when you're close to them, you are quick in serving machines, you're quick in maintaining machines, you're quick in supplying accessories and spare parts. Whenever they need service people on site, I think they're very, very fast. And this is very helpful for us, and finally also for customers.
Yeah. And when you talk about, are these both EMS and OEMs both, or is it more heavily EMS than OEM?
Yeah, so with our core portfolio, so from high flex, low volume, it's more smaller customers, starting with the mom and pop shops, up to OEMs. But with the Mysmart portfolio, with inspection solutions, with jet printers, we see continuously growing business, even also with EMS. So EMS have here huge demand, because we have some unique offerings. Jet printer, the My 700 solution, which shoots 1 million dots per hour, a solution where you do not need the screen printer anymore. In fact, you can save screens. There's no need to store, to produce screens. There's no need of storing and washing them, cleaning them. This is all gone by our jet printer, which is in fact based on algorithms. So we're shooting on the fly these solder dots. And this is something what gives unique opportunities to EMS companies, because they can be more flexible in designing their solutions. They are faster when they do NPI and prototyping. So we are definitely getting increasingly attention in the EMS areas.
Gotcha. Now, the growth in Mexico pre-COVID, a lot of that had to do with, the sectors I talked about. We always thought about large products delivered to the United States ultimately. So because of shipping costs and what have you, it just made sense to make these larger products closer to market. But then with COVID, with supply chain security issues and geopolitical things, as you mentioned before, those became more of a driver. How do you view that moving forward?
My personal judgment is that this will continue. So Middle and Southern America's relevance for the SMT market will get more and more important. At least relevant for the Americas, supplying into America or into North America. While Eastern Europe right now is still maybe the big hub which supports Europe, Central and Middle and Western Europe. But what I observe right now, I think Mexico and I think also in future, maybe other regions, maybe Brazil, South America, I think they are delivering high quality, and they have high standards. And our customers invest a lot in that regions. And investing doesn't mean only investing in setting up factories. It means also investing in people, educating people, training people. And as more they invest, as higher the quality gets, and as more reliable solution gets. And with their big cost advantage, production cost advantage with the fear, I think over time, Mexico and maybe also Brazil can get even more important also for Europe. I think everybody is, especially in these days where we see a significant cost increase. So that the supply chain is right now not anymore healthy. So we see cost increase on raw material, we see cost increase on chips, on ICs, we see cost increase almost everywhere. And for sure, we are somehow, and I think the entire industry somehow tries to cover this with price increases. But on the other hand, this is not a healthy surrounding. That means we cannot only increase price to cover somewhere cost increase. We also need to work on continuous cost improvements.
Yes.
And so to somehow cover this. And this is definitely where I see a big advantage in regions like Mexico. And this is why I think that the importance of Mexico in our electronics production industry will get increasingly important.
Okay, that's very good. And you just touched on it, kind of the kind of current supply chain challenges that have been going on in the industry. One thinks often of the material side as you do, but when I speak to companies right after material, they talk about labor, right, issues and challenges within that. How are you seeing those? And logistics actually becomes an issue as well then, related to all of this. What's your view of kind of the current supply chain challenges in the industry?
Yeah, the current challenges are a challenge. So there is, but we need to observe, I think, what happens now going forward. So we definitely see material cost increasing just because of material availability. We see lots of chip. I think there's a shortage in chips. Everything what is electronics now we see as a shortage. I'm not yet 100% sure. I think if this is just by kind of an artificial over demand which is created, and maybe at a certain time we see that this incredible demand cannot yet be fulfilled, may suddenly lead to an oversupply. On one hand, we see that we have too less electronic components. On the other hand, we see that in certain areas globally, for example, the consumer demand goes down. So there's less mobile phone sales within these days. That means these companies planned electronic components for higher demand, and now this demand not anymore there. So that might lead soon to a turnaround in the market, and suddenly we have an oversupply, and then we have enough components available. On the other hand, there's also lots of raw material, steel and other things where we are running short, and where we see increasing cost, which all hits us. The other thing is definitely labor. So the high inflation, which we see in almost all countries in these days, due to the crisis we are facing, has somehow to be covered. We need to observe and watch out how long this inflation rate, which we see now close to double digit, continues, or when this turns around and gets into control. So we are observing this very carefully. So for sure, we have to a certain degree, adjust our pricing to the significant increased cost base. On the other hand, we work on continuous improvement of our processes and to try to cope with this, to stay competitive for our solutions for our customers. But it's definitely tricky and difficult. And so far, I'm quite happy. So we are still we still can deliver all systems. So as of today, there is no production stop at Mycronic. The delivery times are still reasonable. We can still fulfill customer requirements because we started early to adjust our supply chain to this new situation. This can change every day, but for the time being, I'm pretty confident that we are able to support our customers' demand with our solutions within reasonable time.
Thank you for that, because I was going to follow up. You have a unique position of both supporting customers who consume it, but you're also producing your own products to help those customers. So that's, by the way, where are production of the Mycronic machines? Is that dispersed globally, or is that in particular centers?
Yeah. So we produce our pick and place machines in Sweden at our headquarters in Täby, which is close to Stockholm.
Okay.
We produce also our SPIs, the solar phase inspection systems in Sweden. We produce our jet printers in Japan. We produce our material handling solutions in Germany, and that means we are in areas which are rather stable and pretty much under control. This also gives us the confidence that we are able to support our customers' demand. Our Mysmart portfolio, that means the dispensing and conformal coating machines, are produced in China, in Axon, which is based in Shenzhen. And this is a true and real high volume supplier. So we started very early to secure our supply chain. And even here, we are in a very comfortable situation that we can still support our customers based on their demand. So China, Sweden, Germany, Japan are our production sites.
Yeah.
The AOIs we produce as an external partner. It's outsourced in Taiwan, which is also quite stable surroundings. So we're very pleased to be able to offer this solutions.
Yeah. So you must be then well familiar with logistics costs and logistics challenges, because if you produce there, you're shipping them, especially from Mexico and what. How do you see it? I know it was very tight and challenging during COVID. I hear reports that it's easing up some. What's your view of that?
Yeah, so that's something which hit us a lot in the very early days after COVID, when the world restarted. I think we have seen that air freight prices hit the roof and went crazy. We have seen that prices for boat shipment really went crazy. On the other hand, we have also seen, I think it was not only about pricing, it was also about having available freight capacity. We started extremely early to change our strategy on wanting to book in advance enough capacity on boats and airplanes, but we also started producing in advance and shipping in advance bulk shipments. That means jet printers from Japan, for example. We have local storage in the US, in Europe. That means when customers have early demands and quick demands, we can supply them out of our local storage in their regions. And as you know, I think in these days, I think the demand for machines is extraordinary. So our customers have full order books. They continue to increase their order intake, and that means they continue to increase their production capacity. And then they can't wait 6, 8, 10 weeks till they get a jet printer delivered. They need it right away.
Right.
Or a pick and place machine. They need it now. There's, when you look at, for example, in the US military market, industry solutions, aerospace. This is an extreme high demanding market for high quality, but also for quick deliveries. And that means you need to be close to customers also with your solutions to be able to ship as quick as you can, and not when you might get freight capacities. So we have been forced to reconsider our logistics strategy, and luckily we have done that early enough.
Okay. And one last question before we end, I just wanted to ask about kind of the technical drivers that are pushing, the development of your products. We hear about the miniaturization and smaller boards and all of that. And what are those technical advances that are driving your development and refinement of your equipment? And does it always necessitate for a customer to get a new machine, or is it possible to sometimes convert or retrofit an existing one?
Yeah, so it's miniaturization, it's return on invest, it's flexibility, it's digitalization. So a lot So why are we so successful? I think we differentiate with our MyPro portfolio, with the SVP production line. We differentiate with being a full line solution provider. A customer comes to us as a one-stop solution. They buy everything except of the oven, which they buy from other high professional oven companies. And they don't buy only a full line solution from Mycronic because we have the selection of hardware. They buy it because we have a very professional software support. So we have interconnected the machines. So we have software ecosystems with our MyCenter solution, with MyPlan, which help them to plan jobs in a very professional and advanced way. So we are able to analyze data from SPI and AOI in our software suite in a very professional way. We are able to plan jobs for the inspection systems with our new MyWizard software solution in a very efficient, smart way. This is what they like because they see that we are a full-line solution provider which provides great software and hardware solutions. This is what differentiates us. And this is why they like to work with us. And that's something we continue to do because the digitalized solutions to support customers on the production floor is really key going forward to make them successful.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you for that. And you're right. I mean, I deal with a lot of companies and some are kind of solution providers within the assembly process. But Mycronic is one of the few that has the benefit of that full suite. As you say, other than ovens, you have the full suite of service. And I could see great benefit for companies engaging across that whole suite. There's benefits to be derived there, obviously. So, Clemens, this has been terrific. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your insights because this has helped me understand Mycronics even better. And I'm sure our audience will appreciate that as well. So I want to thank you for your time, and hopefully at some point in the future, we can maybe get another update and see how business is progressing.
Sure. You're always welcome, Eric. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.